In this COVID year of 2020, home sales have been booming, and a question that keeps popping up is buying a house a good investment? Now, that's a little bit like saying, is getting married a good idea? It depends a lot on you, and it depends a lot on how you do it and who you're doing it with and where and all the rest of those things. The fact of the matter is that I've always owned the house I live in, and I think that's just fine. But it's important to remember that if you're thinking about it as an investment, you need to account for it fully, which few people ever do. What most people do is they buy the house on a mortgage, usually with a mortgage. Maybe they put 20% down and they borrow 80%. And they think of that 20, or they think of the price they bought it at, and then they think of the price later. They look at the difference, and they determine from that if they think it's been a good investment, which of course misses a tremendous amount of central points. It doesn't include the costs that are necessary in maintaining the house, which should be accounted for, including the interest cost, property tax, deferred maintenance, the utilities necessary to do everything from keeping the lawn up and what have you. When you factor those in, the return on a home varies hugely across the spectrum of this country. And it's very hard to make a general rule that says you will come out ahead with buying a house, which you may or may not, compared to other alternative investments, which is really the definition of is it a good idea or not. People tend to be more comfortable with home prices because they're not in their face. The fact is, you buy the house, you envision what you think it's worth after that, and you don't really know what it's worth after that until the day comes that you finally may move to sell it. You have things like Zillow you can look at to try to triangulate what it might be worth, but you don't really know. And you find out only really when you move to sell it. But that's the price you sold it for. This is the price you buy it for. You still have to do that accounting to get a real return on investment. And what people tend to do is say, but it went up so much based on what I paid before my mortgage that I must have done really great on it. And they're actually often surprised how big those accumulated costs are over time, because they just keep running year after year after year after year. And again, sometimes the house is a good investment. Sometimes the house is a bad investment because it could have done much better just buying simple securities, much better. And that in history has varied all over the board in this country. The fact is, people also think things like, well, I'll buy it and fix it up. But then you have to actually ask, are you really good at that? Is that really something where you bring value at it, or are you just fixing it up the way you like it, which is a form of consumer expenditure to your taste, which is fine, but may not be to the taste of others. There are people that are really good at buying a house, doing things to it, and turning around and selling it for a profit in a big hurry. If you're good at that, then it's good. If you like doing that, then it's even better. But the fact of the matter is, there's no blanket rule you can make about whether buying a home is a good investment or isn't a good investment. Partly about you, partly about the home, and it's partly about your future circumstances after you've bought that home. Subscribe to the Fisher Investment YouTube channel if you like what you've seen. Click the bell to be notified as soon as we publish new videos.